The following program is classified M. It contains some coarse language, sexual references, and adult themes. One recommends viewing by mature audiences.
Can of Worms for 2012, the show that asks curly questions of straight-talking people. I'm Chrissie Swan, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be behind this desk, mainly because it hides my enormous bottom. Tonight, we will get to know our three guests as we poke them, prod them, and knead them in a mate's way, of course. Let's meet them right now. We can't wait. After growing up in Perth, she went on to conquer the fashion world and became our very own supermodel. I call her Bambi Face. Please welcome the host of Project Runway, Meghan Gale. In the middle, former AFL footballer, now a dad and TV and radio star. It's a streak of pelican poo, Ryan Fitzgerald.
Thank you. Thank you.
With 4 kids and a breakfast radio gig on Nova in Melbourne, it is a miracle she even found the time to get here tonight. Give a rousing round to Kate Langbroek. And to help us through it all, our man in the street and social media guru, Dan Ilic.
Thanks, Chrissie. Well, let me tell you, Facebook and Twitter are not just for cyber stalking your exes. No, you can talk to us as well. We are Can of Worms TV on both, and check out our website, which is canofworms.com.au.
We are going to hit you with the big worms later in the show, but first we want to get a feel for your sense of right and wrong. This is what we like to call our can openers. I'm going to tell you 3 stories that have happened in the news this week, and you've got to tell us where you sit in terms of, is this seriously wrong or is it perfectly okay?
Controversial.
Controversial. First one for you, Meghan Gale.
Oh, kicking it off. No
Kicking it off. In Queensland, prostitutes, sex workers, are using normal motel rooms for business.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
I think I do.
Motel owners, they don't like it. But that's too bad because a ruling's come down that it's okay. Prostitutes using the room next to yours, where do you sit? Perfectly okay or seriously wrong?
Don't have a problem with it. Doesn't even cross my mind. Whatever someone does, if they're paying for that room, if they're not doing anything illegal or, well, let's say harming anyone unless they're paying for it. Whatever floats your boat. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Have you ever heard anything a little bit dirty in a hotel room?
Yeah, but who's to say that that's a sex worker or just, you know, a couple?
Yeah, but that's embarrassing.
A bit of fun.
Do you know, nothing is more dispiriting in this life than when you are lying side by side with your loved one in bed reading, and then you hear people going hammer and tongs. It just really...
I find it hilarious.
No, I just find it brings me down, and not in a good way. I don't want someone having such an outrageously good time.
So you think it's seriously wrong?
Yeah, no, unless they're going to be very silent throughout and not enjoy it.
Well, I find it confronting because it never sounds like that when I do it. It just sounds like someone's fallen over and then that's it.
Have you heard anything weird in a hotel room?
Oh, all the time. And because I travel quite a bit for work, and there is nothing worse. I mean, someone, you know, having a party with a stereo on, but especially that bed head, if it keeps knocking on the wall,
the bed
it's
head.
like. But this is weird, man. I get my iPhone out and I time to see how long the guy can go. And I go, that is bullshit, man. He's been going for 45 minutes. No one can do that. No one.
Why don't motel owners like it? Because it would be like just hour bookings, wouldn't it? Why don't they just charge them a lot of money?
It also depends on what type of hotel you're in. If you're 5-star, you go, OK, they must be a pretty good looking.
Oh, yeah, true.
If you're in Formula 1, you're going, oh, Jesus. Some bloke's just got off the plane and picked up someone on a Tiger Airways flight and he's taking...
I can't work out. You seem to you enjoy it so much. I can't work out if you think that it's seriously wrong or excellent.
I know.
You love it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Anyway.
You're perfectly okay.
Yep.
Megan?
I'm perfectly okay.
You're perfectly okay.
Doesn't
You're
bother
sticking
me.
with that?
Yep.
Perfectly okay it is then. Dad, what do you say?
Well, Chrissie, 84% say yes, it's okay for sex workers to hire out a motel room for business purposes. We do have a comment on Facebook, though, from Craig Thompson saying it's okay as long as they have a receipt. I think that's pretty big.
I love it. Hey, Fitzy, your turn for a can opener.
Okay, let's do this.
And it's interesting that you mentioned Tiger Airlines earlier because this one's about Virgin Airlines.
Okay.
They have a policy that unaccompanied minors are not able to sit next to men.
Okay.
This rule really upset a fiery this week because he was seated next to one and he was marched to a different seat. And he thought, well, everyone thinks that I'm a creep now. Banning men from sitting next to unaccompanied minors. Perfectly fine, seriously wrong.
I think that's seriously wrong. I think you're discriminating against men, and usually when a kid gets on a flight, they go to the back of the flight, so they're near the flight attendants anyway. But you know what? If a child's sitting next to a man who's got a big trench coat on and he might, and he's got his hands in his pockets the whole time, you would want to move them. But I think that is it's degrading.
Surely you only want to move them if the man takes his hands out of the pockets.
Yeah, that's true.
Hands in the pockets, I'm all right with that.
You've got an army of kids.
I have
If you
an
ever
army
set
of
them on a
children.
plane, would you prefer a man or a woman sitting next to them?
I don't really mind, actually.
I've never thought about it.
No, I've never thought of it either. I try not to see pedos everywhere, which I know the world is a bit that way inclined. But I've never sent them unaccompanied on a flight either, which I dream of that. The youngest one's 3. Is that too young? But yeah, I just think it's very disrespectful to men. And also that guy got asked really publicly. The flight attendant apparently said really loudly to him, "You're not allowed to sit next to unaccompanied minors."
Yes.
And then you've got to do the walk of shame down the aisle.
The poor guy.
No, so you're seriously wrong as well. You've got two of those.
Yeah.
You got
Megan?
3. I think it's seriously wrong. I mean, sure, there's a few bad eggs out there, but should that mean that they're going to spoil it for the rest of everyone, or the male population, most of which have done nothing wrong? I think it's more up to the flight attendants just to monitor the situation, but I don't think just to finger point from the get-go and make someone feel like a creep. It's a bit wrong.
It is unanimous with you 3. It's seriously wrong to ban this. Dan Ilic, what's coming in online?
Well, 94% say no, it's not okay to ban men. And quite frankly, we just cannot be trusted. We shouldn't be allowed to sit next to women. So in the baggage compartment for us, I think, is exactly where we should be.
Last one is for you, Katie Kate, and it involves
Hang on, let me
2
prepare
other
myself.
Ks.
2 other Ks.
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Oh.
He has written a love song for her.
Oh, bitch.
How romantic. The song is actually called Perfect Bitch.
Perfect bitch.
He insists it's a love song. Kate Langbroek, a love song called Perfect Bitch. Is this seriously wrong or perfectly fine?
I think it's perfect for Kim Kardashian.
Why is that?
Well, I think it's sort of... look, I don't know. She's so... How much we loved that girl. We loved her so much.
When did we start loving her?
I don't know, something about her, her voracious need for it being the riches of the world or whatever, is really off-putting. And I think he's perfect for her.
So Perfect Bitch is fine. Perfectly okay.
Let her, she can have that. She can have that. It's hers.
Fitzy, you don't look like a fan at all.
I disagree with it. If he was writing a song about a winning greyhound, fair enough. Won a lot of money, you're a perfect bitch. Let's do this. Here's some power.
And I believe they both like Denker rub up the arse.
You know, there are rumours of that in the greyhound industry. Just to give the dog a little bit of a pep up before he goes out there and races.
Yeah, little dab of Denker rub.
Bit of deep heat on the bum before they go.
About that. Not for me, I'm for dogs.
My wife does it to me when I don't take the bins out. What are you doing? I'm all right.
Megan, can we get back to Kanye and Kim for a second. The song Perfect Bitch, perfectly okay, seriously wrong.
For some reason, the word bitch has never gelled with me. I've always had a problem with it.
And gangster rap's over now, isn't it? That's back in the 80s, 90s.
That brings me to my next point. That's kind of his lingo. She probably likes being called that. I'm sure he checked in with her first. So whilst I'm not a fan of that word at all. It's perfectly fine for the context of his occupation and...
Look, it might be a pet name, you know.
Yeah,
my little bitch.
Yeah, that's it.
Has anyone had a pet name for you?
Oh,
Apart
yes.
from Bambi Face, which I just called you.
Which is new, which I'm going to be running with, just FYI. Oh, yeah, I get lots of... I've had lots of little sweet nicknames. Alex Perry actually calls me Rabbit. We call each other Rabbit because we're both born in Year of the Rabbit. So we call each other Rabbit. Yes, Rabbit.
Fitzy, what's your little pet name?
Went out with a girl when I was 18. She called me the Boganator.
Why?
I love the Terminator, and I don't know where she got this from, but she thought I was a bogan.
Really?
Kate, what about you?
Sometimes I don't mind a bit of bitch.
Really?
Come on.
What context?
Oh, come on. What context do you think, Chrissie?
I just want to hear you say it.
What about
Like an example.
Just sometimes it's fun to mix things up.
What if Pete comes home and goes, "Where's my dinner, bitch?"
You know what? That would really make me laugh.
The ladies were perfectly fine with the song Perfect Bitch, but the Boganator in the centre
Yeah, the
there.
Boganator. Sticking up.
What are they saying online?
Chrissie, 56% say yes, it's okay to have a song called Perfect Bitch. Personally, I would have gone with Perfect Bizzarch, but, you know...
Thank you, ladies and gents. Let's pop the lid back on our can openers and use this break to steady ourselves, because next we dig up our first big worm of the year. Meghan, I suspect you're going to have something to say about this. Here's Dan with a hint. You're watching Can of Worms.
What do you think of this magazine model?
Yeah, she's cute.
She's cute. You know she's 13.
What?
She's 13.
Oh, fuck, you serious?
Tomorrow on 1, it's the new Sons you can't miss, because this is the episode where they get their revenge.
Tell me where my son is. I will kill him.
That's tomorrow. In this pound, it's Nick, Knack, Paddy, Whack, kick a dog in the...
Right in his carrots and onions.
So, who would you back in a brawl?
Do it!
Jason Statham or Vinnie Jones? Mean Machine, 8:30 Thursday on 1.
The best things we've ever done. In the best thing we've ever done. The all-new, all-wheel drive XV Sports Crossover. All the best from Subaru.
Hi, I'm Doug Pitt. I might not know much about being a celebrity, but I do know a good deal when I see one. Did I say that all right?
Still rolling!
Celebrity deals at Celebrity Brother prices, like the Android-powered Sony Xperia S smartphone with a stunning 4.3-inch HD reality display and 12-megapixel camera. Get it today for $0 up front on our Big Plan 29 with $450 credit and free voicemail. Find your nearest Virgin Mobile store online today.
So what does Wonder Boy have on his sub today? Same as you, old mate. Steak and cheese. With the works. Bit of Swiss cheese, home-style tomato relish, even lashed out and added some shortcut bacon as well. So worth it. Beautiful.
Oh, dishwasher, why don't you dry my dishes?
Oh, he doesn't know any better. You just need to add Finish Rinse-Aid in the Rinse-Aid dispenser. It's there for a reason. It dries much better than detergent alone.
Sorry, dishwasher.
Finish Rinse-Aid for drier, shinier dishes.
KwaZulu-Natal. Tough to say, even tougher to drive. Sounds like one for the Ford Ranger. Out here, even when the road stops, it just keeps on going. And even weighed down, it keeps powering on. Built for any challenge. Ford Ranger.
Need to look fresh after a late night? New Nivea for Men Q10 Skin Energy. Now with creatine, gives your skin an instant energy boost so you look fresh the next day. New Q10 Skin Energy from Nivea for Men.
Ooh, a private number. Hugh? Nicole, maybe? It's good when your social network's as strong as your mobile network. This is Doug Pitt speaking. No, this is 0432. Yeah, no problem.
Welcome back. It's time to go a little deeper. Do you like it when I say that? With our first big worm of the year. Dolly magazine recently caused a stink by announcing this girl as the winner of their model search competition. There she is, Kirsty. Problem is, she's actually only 13, but they've made her up to look like a sultry 25-year-old, which brings us directly to tonight's first big worm. Get your yes-nos ready. It's this part of the show.
Wowzers.
Would you let your 13-year-old daughter be a fashion model? Yes or no? You have 5 seconds. All right, time's up. And no, a yes and a no.
Yes, you're shocked.
Everyone's shocked about little Bambi face. Say no. So you think it's no good? You would not let your 13-year-old daughter be a model at 13?
Not in a pink fit. No way.
What did you want to be when you were 13?
I wasn't even thinking about what I wanted to be. I was being a little girl. I was being a girl.
Why do
I
you
wasn't
say-
thinking about an adult and what I was going to be doing.
Why do you say no? Like, you know, this will surprise people, but Meghan Gale knows more about the modelling world than any of us.
I know.
So why do you say... Why do you say...
I've had an extensive modelling career, Kate, so speak for yourself.
Why do you say that? Like, what do you know that makes you so emphatic about it?
It's a really adult world. It's an adult industry. So if you're putting a 13-year-old in an environment where there are adults having adult conversations, and I just feel that it's not an appropriate time for a girl to be in that environment. A lot of the time, as the example that we had, girls are being made up to look a lot older than what they are. The only time it may be acceptable, I think, is if a girl is promoting age-appropriate products and looking like their age and appealing to...
13-year-olds.
Yes.
Fitzy, Meghan has put forward some pretty good arguments here, and you're still a yes. How do you feel?
Well, I personally think if you want to perfect your craft, I think all the practice and all the training that you can get, doesn't matter what age it is going to be better for you. It's like, I look at it like a sporting career as well. As a model, your career's not going to last forever, and I have to give you the heads up there, Meghan.
I shall respond when you finish.
OK, because I've dominated the catwalks of Milan, but now I'd struggle to get in a Ray's Outdoors catalogue. But what I'm saying is, you know, to a certain extent, like you said, if they're promoting something their age, that's fine. If you're there as a parent and you are watching it, I think it's fine. The more practice that they can get in, the more that the quicker that they're going to get to the peak and the more money they're going to make from that.
Fitzy, they're 13. Shouldn't kids be kids?
Yeah, and look, I would never pressure my child to do that. If they didn't want to do it, I would rip them straight out if they were...
Well, aren't you a hero?
If they were threatened at all. But if it was something that they were very passionate about, I would support them 100%. But I would like to be there to watch over the whole thing.
But that doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's a safe environment. There are some parents who are so desperate, they're called stage parents, so desperate for their kids to be famous, make money, that they don't care what they're going to put their kids through.
Can I push you again on the reputation of the modelling industry? Because you do...
Sure.
You hear stories of the partying, you know, the drugs, offered drugs, the... you hear about photographers that try to take advantage of their subjects.
Yep, happened to me.
So that goes on quite a bit.
The drugs and the partying, I think that's probably back in the supermodel heyday and in the very extreme where there is excessive wealth and boozing and partying going on. I started modelling too when I was 18. So, you know, I disagree with your point about starting earlier is better. I started when I was 18 and I didn't get any break until I was 23, 24. And I'm 37 now. So you can do it later.
Can I ask you this, though?
What?
Didn't you try out for Dolly magazine when you were a bit younger?
Yes, when I was about to turn 16.
About 16.
Yeah, I started modelling towards the end of high school and I stayed in school because that's the other thing. Focus on get yourself an education. Don't have your head in lipstick and fashion and all those things are great when you get a bit older, but not when you're 13.
It's a very interesting thing to do to a girl who's like on the cusp of adolescence, to throw her into an environment that is purely about the physical.
Exactly.
I do not understand why you would do that to your daughter when she's at her most vulnerable and about to cross the most significant threshold of her life, when you know that there are very real problems for our girls in that arena.
That's
why
true.
would you do it?
That's true, but they are young and gorgeous. Shouldn't we be celebrating that?
Sure, but why can't they be young and gorgeous? I find it strange. It's almost like the parents need affirmation for themselves of how beautiful their daughter is. I've got a 7-year-old daughter. She is absolutely exquisite. And when people say to me, oh, she could be a model, to me that sounds like a curse. That's not a blessing for a little girl to... Why would you encourage them to go down a path that is so fatuous and obsessed with the physical when you're trying in every other way to encourage them to develop other aspects of themselves?
I agree. My mum was great. She kept me away. She wanted me to finish school first and I wanted to finish school first as well. I had last week a girl on Instagram actually message me and said, Megan, please help me. I'm 13 and I want to be a model, but my parents won't let me. Can you help me, give me advice? And I said, you're going to hate me, but I agree with your parents. Stay in school, focus on that. There's plenty of time for modelling.
This has been going on for a very long time. We've got an image of Miranda Kerr that was taken when she was 13. She's on the cover of a magazine.
Which caused a huge scandal.
Which caused a huge scandal then.
Massive.
And I actually won Dolly Doctor that year. for the best question when I was discovering my body.
You know... Miranda Kerr was 13 here. She's been set up for life because of her looks. Isn't she just lucky?
I don't know if she's lucky. No one really knew who she was in Australia till maybe 4 years ago when she was 25. So look at all the time it took.
Is she not the exception, not the rule? She's the exception.
What really concerns me these days, if you ask a girl what she wants to be when she grows up, a young girl, the majority of girls will say, I want to be a fashion model, I want to be a supermodel. And when you ask them why, it's because they want to be rich, famous and have a famous boyfriend. That concerns the hell out of me because I didn't want to be a model for any of those reasons. I wanted to do it because I liked the opportunity to travel, meet different people. I loved fashion. I loved creating photos and collaborating with people in an artistic sense. They're the reasons why I think you should do it.
Megan and Kate, you are nose, very solid. Would it make any difference if we were talking about a 13-year-old son?
Oh.
Yeah, things change now, don't they? You don't give a stuff about the problem.
Yeah, possibly.
Why?
Possibly. I don't think they're quite as vulnerable to those issues. I'm still not mad on it. I mean, I don't really dream that for my boys either, to be a male model. They don't gussy up boys the same way.
No.
There's not a Lolita complex for boys and there is for girls.
Yeah.
You know, the sexuality of a 13-year-old girl can be explosive, and I do understand why the world wants to tap into that. It's like just heady and beautiful. But boys don't have the same equivalent.
OK, you're a no, yes, no. I'm going to give you a hypothetical that I want you all to answer. A very famous international talent agent has spotted your lanky 13-year-old at the mall. He's offered her a 3-year contract. You've got to move to Paris. You'll get $1 million for it. And the first job is for Sexy Jeans Company. All right? The photo may or may not look a little bit like Brooke Shields' one for Calvin Klein when she was 15. Your daughter has always wanted to be a model. It would be a dream come true. What do you do?
Bonjour, monsieur. We're going to Paris, man. Yeah. Brooke Shields doesn't look 13-year-old.
And
she
that
doesn't
she
look
wasn't,
13.
she's
No, she was 15.
Oh, 15, okay.
And do you know what the tagline for that ad was?
What?
Nothing comes between me and my Calvins, which was saucy then. And because it was implying that she doesn't wear underpants under her jeans. It's
commando
as a
underwear.
15-year-old.
Well, it's lucky after that she stopped doing stuff like that and not do a movie like Blue Lagoon.
Kate, what would you do? It's $1 million. It'll set her up for life.
I would like to go to France.
Okay.
I would like to go to France.
And she would never have to work as hard as you've worked. $1 million when she's 13.
So the $1 million I find a bit creepy. Because as we all know, if you are prepared to do something that you wouldn't do just because the money's right, no, we're going to France.
You're a yes. Meghan, Gale, are you sticking to your guns on this one?
Hell yes.
$1 million.
Yep. Why should... That means all my opinions, philosophies, beliefs go out the window because someone's dangled coin at me.
Sure.
Which means that my theories aren't that strong.
A huge thanks to you all, Pat. What does the nation think? Roy Morgan found out.
Would you let your 13-year-old daughter be a fashion model? Overwhelming 78% said, pop that lens cap back on because we say no. With nearly all of us saying, I don't care, male or female, that doesn't change my mind. It can even affect sales, with a huge number saying they wouldn't buy a fashion mag aimed at adults if they knew the model was 13. And things seem to be getting worse. Are 13-year-old girls more sexualised than a generation ago? A whopping 95% of you said yes. Which is why I am never having kids. Here's to a bright future of hoarding and cats.
That is what you thought. 78% of people said 13 is too young. You'd be happy with that, Meghan, Gale?
Well, it makes me feel good about our name.
What is the right age, however? Dan Ilic stormed the streets to find out.
What do you think of this magazine model?
Yeah, she's cute.
She's cute. You know she's 13.
What?
She's 13.
Oh, fuck, are you serious?
Yeah. Now, if 13 is too young to be on the front page of a fashion magazine, just what age is it okay to be a cover girl? I've got some other magazine titles I'd love to run by you. This is Fogey magazine. This is for the 87-year-olds and over.
The cougars.
Not so much a cougar, more like a saber-toothed tiger.
The problem with that is not so much that it's an 85-year-old woman on the front cover, it's the way she's depicted, I would say.
In a bikini. We've got even older. Still, let me ask you, this is Decompolitan magazine. Why can't you have a 290-year-old skeleton on a magazine?
Because it makes you depressed.
You look like you would have a pretty hot skeleton.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah. Is that because you can see yourself decomposing sometime soon?
Well, I hope not too soon, but yes, probably so.
What about the model? Is the model okay?
She got good teeth.
He's adorable. Coming up, our second huge worm. Are you snooping on your partner? Are you? Maybe you're not alone, but after the break, we reload one of last year's favourites, the moral minefield.
Things may have looked and sounded different in the 70s, but the stories are oh so familiar.
It was like time completely froze.
And did he say anything?
Hi. Oh, it's so embarrassing.
8:30 Wednesday.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
The only people behaving worse than the kids
God.
What?
My parents are acting really weird.
are the adults.
What's going on?
You'll be swept away by 10's hot new Aussie drama. Puberty Blues. 8:30 Wednesday on 10.
You are with the Can of Worms, the show that won't take maybe for an answer. Time for Meghan, Fitzy and Kate to test their mettle as they march through the moral minefield. You're going to love this. Let me refresh your memory. You pick a category off the board, answer it honestly, and then we're going to match your answers against people that have already commented on these on our Facebook page.
Oh, I thought it was like spin the bottle and you picked sex, but no. No, you've got to answer the question.
Well, if sex is still on the board when it's your turn, I'm sure you can have it, Fitzy. But Megan, you're kicking things off.
I will go with race.
Is it ever okay to put on an Indian accent?
If you're imitating Apu from The Simpsons, perhaps.
Right.
This is an interesting one because it's one of those ones because you think, oh, if I do it just in front of my friends, it's okay. But I think you have to think if you're only going to do it behind closed doors or amongst people, you wouldn't do it in front of someone that is Indian or in a public arena, then you know that it's not okay to do it.
So it's not okay?
I don't think it's okay.
What? Why is it not all right? Like, why? Like, I grew up, my dad's got an accent. My dad is Dutch, and we grew up totally mimicking my father. Isn't that just one of the beauties and the vagaries of human nature?
That's your dad, though. My dad's a parliament.
But why is it insulting to put on an Indian accent? What we're assuming is an Indian speaking English. Obviously not speaking, you know, Hindi. but why is that? Well, what's wrong with it?
I don't know. For me personally, I just think if there's any tiny little bit of a chance that they could take offence to it, then I wouldn't risk it.
I don't think around Indian people. I think that's disrespectful.
Well, if they're your friends, I think they might find that quite amusing.
And if you're saying jokes like, you know, curry gives me the runs and all that kind of stuff, I think that's... And usually if you put on an accent and impersonate an Indian person, there's usually a racist joke behind it.
This narrowing of the way that we can interact as humans, I just find ludicrous. So it takes out all the colour and the joy. Like, do you not think Indians who come to Australia talk vigorously about our Australian culture and the way that they find it wanting and make fun of our accents? Oh, you know, mate. Then she said, don't you know the S and Y? Like, really?
And that's not right either.
They're not doing that. Yeah, but it's right. It's fine. But I ask you, what is wrong with offence? When did offence become just this, oh, no one can be offended? What's wrong with offence? Really?
Megan, you think it's never okay to use an Indian accent?
No.
Kate, you think it's perfectly fine. Let's see what our Facebook fans thought.
And you know what I say? I heartily concur.
All right, Fitzy, your turn. We all know what you're going to take.
Oh, well, OK.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I'm not very good at it, so I'll pick sex.
Alrighty, Fitzy, would you tell a friend if you thought they were sleeping around too much?
Oh, that's a good one.
Give me a... Okay. I'm an ex-footballer. You ever go at a mate if he's not doing it to you? I think it's different for guys, totally different for guys. And unfortunately in society, you know, girls have a totally different perception if they sleep with too many. I think this... You know, as a guy, look, I wouldn't tell a guy if he's been sleeping around too much.
What would you say? If I was a guy and I'd been really having a crack, what would you say to me?
I'd say, mate, you're on bloody fire. I'd be going, how the fuck are you doing this?
And if I was a girl, what would you say?
Oh, look, if I had a really good girlfriend and she was doing it quite a bit and getting a reputation, I would, in her best interest, I'd go... Maybe try to keep your legs together a bit more.
Kate Langbroek, have you ever had to do this?
Ooh, Langbroek.
Yes, I have. I have had occasion where I've had girlfriends who have gone down a
What?
A lusty
they have been like not as discriminate as possibly they should be. And you know what? There's always a lot of tears on the Wednesday.
Can I...
It's really...
Before you met Pete, were you a sexually active young lady?
Well, I was 111. So, no, I've always been in relationships. So that's sort of, I've not, and also I'm not a sort of promiscuous type.
Yep.
I'm just not. I know.
So how do you go when you tell your friend, look, I think you've been sleeping with too many guys?
No,
how do they
it's
handle
not
it?
really.
No.
You know what? It's a question, I think, of what is okay for that person.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of girlfriends who go, I'm fine with it. Guys can do it. Why can't I do it? And it's like, you know what? Because men and women are different. And you seem to, like I said, spend a lot of Wednesday looking at your phone that's not ringing and crying. And so if it makes you feel bad or it makes you feel used or it's not really fulfilling, then, then you sort of have the conversation. You go, you know what? Let's try something different next time. Don't sleep with them and let's see what happens. You know, you try and make it. You don't go, you know, you're a dirty hooer.
Let's see what our Facebook fans said about this one. 67% said yes, they would tell a friend if they were getting too much action in the bedroom. Katie, it's your turn.
Oh, taboo.
Yeah, good on
good
you,
one.
Kate.
It's always the juiciest.
Taboo.
Always the juiciest. Wow. Kate Langbroek, is it okay to marry your first cousin?
All right, not if you've met my cousin. Well, isn't it all right? That's
Well,
always
it
a
is
bit
legal.
blurry,
It is
isn't
legal. You can actually do it.
Is it okay to marry your first cousin? Well, sure, if you want to.
Really?
Really?
Megan,
We've
what
got
do you think? Is it
Medicare.
okay?
I just think with all the people you could choose in the world, why would you?
Well, because they look like you.
Yeah.
Just throw the net a bit wider. Like, no.
It's not okay. Fitzy,
No.
is it okay to marry your first cousin?
Second cousin, open slather, I reckon.
Let's see.
Who knows their second cousin? No one. But first cousin, very creepy.
Yeah.
It would be a bit weird at the Christmas.
Yeah, I think it would be weird. I think it would be a bit weird. Let's see what they thought on Facebook.
No.
94% said no, it is not okay. Megan, it's your turn again.
Oh. Rules and regulations.
Oh, rules and regulations. Two. Have you ever done a sneaky at the supermarket self-service checkout?
A sneaky?
Stealing.
It could mean anything.
I get you.
Doing a sneaky is like this.
When you take a grape.
The tomatoes are $8.99 a kilo. But the beans are $1.99 a kilo. So you put the tomatoes through as the beans.
I didn't know you could do that. I just don't think that.
How long has it been since you've been to a supermarket, Megan Gale?
I go to supermarkets, thank you very much. No, I haven't even thought about doing that.
You're such a good girl. So you've never done it, Kate Langbroek. Come on. Come on.
Oh, Kate.
Is there any point in me even
Fitzy, have you done it?
Public opinion.
Do you know what? I worked at Franklin's No Frills and I was flogging stuff from there all the time. No frills, cheap thrills for me. That's what it was.
Let's see how honest our Facebook fans are. 77%.
Wow.
They said no, they're liars.
They are liars.
Fitzy, your second shot.
I'm going to go etiquette. Is that okay, Kate? You want to go money?
No,
I'll go
whatever you
etiquette.
like.
Thank you.
But
so
how lovely
kind.
that you asked.
Yes, there you
that
go.
shows you've got perfect
What
etiquette.
a gentleman.
Oh, man.
Fitzy, have you ever spat in public?
Man, I've got to be. Do you know what? It's one of my worst traits, and it's from my football career. And you are going to kill me for this. Has anyone heard of the bushman's hanky or the footy hanky?
Take us through it. What is it? What is it?
Well, when you don't have a hanky on you, you just go for it.
Do you?
It's a disgusting habit, and it's even got to the point now with my 3-year-old son.
Oh, no.
He says to me, Daddy, don't spit. And you know what? Sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it. It's such a bad habit.
Do you also bend down on one knee and have a sneaky wee?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
What they do on the footy field?
that's another footy trait.
Really?
You have your mates
Sometimes-
gather around you and you get down on one knee.
Sometimes if everyone's on the field and you just see one guy going like this.
Oh.
That's what he's doing. You watch now, you'll see it. Megan, have you ever spat in public?
I did try it when I was on a run, when I was running, because my boyfriend at the time did it all the time, and I said, why are you doing it? Because you'll feel better if you do it when you're going for a long run. So I tried it, and it came back and hit me. And so I haven't done it again.
No good. Let's see what our Facebook wormers thought. 53% yes, 50-50. Kay Langbroek, lucky last pick of the board for you, and I do believe it's money for you. Would you dob in a relative for cheating on welfare?
Oh, no. I pay so much freaking tax that the more my relatives have got their snouts in the trough, the better that it all evens up.
Megan, would you?
I'd feel terrible dobbing in a relative. If I found that out, I'd more try and sort of say, hey, what's going on? Do you need some help? And try and help them out so they didn't have to do it. But I wouldn't call the authorities and go, hey, my brother's doing this. Can you go around and investigate? I'd sort of try and help fix problems. So no, I wouldn't do it.
Fitzy, would you dob a relative?
No way, because what the hell are Current Affair going to use for a story every night?
Let's see if our Facebook fans agree with you. 69% said no. It's interesting.
We're not dogs.
No, that's it. We're going to let our beautiful guests catch their breath because next we're on to our big worm of the night. Here's a hint. Ever gone through your partner's emails? Find anything juicy? More to be revealed after the break.
I found stuff that I just really wish I didn't see.
No soup for you.
There's no better winter warmer than Miguel's spiced up pea and ham soup.
Delicious, simple and tasty.
And Chris discovers all the ways you can have fun in the snow without putting on a pair of skis.
How do you stop?
The Living Room. New time, 7:30 Friday on 10.
You are back with a can of worms. Now, sneaking around behind your partner's back used to be so easy. No mobiles, no emails. It was the good old days. It's boring but true that trust is the key ingredient of any relationship, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's always there. Get your yes, no's ready, my darlings, as we march towards our second worm of the night, the great big juicy one. Is spying on your partner acceptable? You have 5 seconds. All right, what do you think? Kay Langbroek, how trusting are you as a person?
I'm very trusting, but I'm not an idiot. Really, why would you be an idiot?
Thanks.
Well, that's it. And in the past, I should have been spied on. So, really, you know. Oh, no, she didn't. Maybe she did.
But see, your husband as well owns a bar. So on the weekends, he's out having a couple of beers with the boys. Do you ever go through his phone when he comes home, Kate?
No, I don't go through his phone. Because I know he's with the boys.
Yeah.
And I know what his bar is like.
OK.
Fitzy?
And he's often with you, actually.
Fitzy, you say that spying is fine.
Yep.
How trusting are you?
Look, trust is the number one thing in a relationship. I think it's fine. I think when you... The thing is, though, there's a fine line. If you start checking emails, text messages, you've got doubt in that relationship.
Yes.
And I think you're on the way out. If you're checking it all the time. But I love sneaking through. And how's this one? This is awesome. When we moved house, last time we moved house, I found a box of BJ's, all her stuff when she was younger.
Oh, yeah.
I found a diary. And it was a diary of when she went and lived overseas for 2 years, and there was a chapter in the diary of a Kentucky tour.
Oh, really? Did you ask or did you just go?
Well, I'm still looking for a Spanish guy called Jose who was the tour guide. But no, it's fine. The only time I do check with my wife is, you know, if they're doing something or in the shower and you see their phone, there's a text message. I'm always one of those that goes and has a look, but then I'll go, OK, and then I'll go back into the inbox and just check a few more. That's the only time I do it.
Megan, you think that spying is not acceptable. Are you horrified at what Fitzy does?
No, I'm not. But I think... you know, curiosity gets the better of you, so I understand that. I don't think it's OK because I used to do it. I did it when I was younger and I regret it because I found stuff that I just really wish I didn't see. It scarred me. It developed insecurities with me.
You've got to tell us what you found.
I found letters to girls. I found lots of contacts that I didn't know he had. And, yeah, there was no evidence of him sleeping around, but there was definitely evidence of flirting and engaging in flirtations with other girls.
Aren't you glad that you snooped then so you found that out?
In a sense, yes, because it kind of made my mind up about him quicker. But to me, and back to your point of, if you're going through and not trusting someone, then there's doubt, and doubt breeds insecurities and it breeds this distrust within the relationship. If I have any doubts now about anything with the person I'm with now, I'll ask them, and I expect an honest answer. Like with my partner, if a girl's name came up that I didn't know and he was in the shower and I saw it, I'd get funny about it for sure, but I'd say, so who the F's Rebecca and why is she texting you? And we have that kind of relationship where I'll get talked through it, and that's a pact we have. And likewise, he can be the same with me.
Just quickly, girls who are your friends always finish off their text messages with kisses.
Yeah.
Yeah, cross.
Don't do that, girls. Do not do that. I know that there's no.
Do that.
Yeah, but Kate, if your partner is not sure who that person is and you finish it off with kisses,
if they don't know
just
you,
open up a can of worms.
Can I find out from you guys what is spying and what isn't? Sneaking a peek at your partner's text messages. Spying or not spying?
Not spying.
Megan?
I won't go into someone's phone. If they're there and looking at a text and the phone's there, I might have a look.
But so not spying?
Well, I'm not really spying. I'm just going, what's that? Open about it. It's not secretive. Yeah, I'm very upfront. Deal with it. None of this sneaking around business.
Checking your partner's Facebook page?
That's fine, because if your partner's that dumb, Kate, if your partner's that dumb to have a relationship with someone on Facebook, you're an idiot.
Well, sure. And really, you should be able to check your partner's Facebook page.
Yes.
That's right.
That shouldn't have to come into the category of spying. If you're with someone who doesn't want you on their Facebook page or hides their passwords, what's that about? I reckon you're already in trouble.
What about if your partner's phone rings and they pick it up and take it into another room and they're talking and you go, is that spying?
No, you go and follow them and sit there.
Yeah, no.
Gale!
Sit there going... None of this sneaking. Get into it.
I think you're getting around this by doing spying really obviously.
No, I think there's going to be a bit of respect for privacy. I would let him go into the other room, but I'd just ask afterwards, what's that about?
Have you ever lost your mind and just, like, followed your partner to work? Or
I've followed an ex.
Have you?
Oh, don't act amazed by that. Have you never done a drive-by? Chrissie Swan.
That is...
Oh, no, I've done a drive-by. I live for it. I just didn't know you live for it.
Of course you do a drive-by.
Of course.
And then you weep, and then you stop at the 7-Eleven, you buy some magazines, your girlfriend buys you some Tin Tans. You know how it goes.
You're in the car just smashing ice cream.
Kate and Fitzy, both of you say that it's perfectly okay to spy on a partner.
Yep.
But aren't relationships about trust?
But see, I have total trust in my wife that she can go through my phone and have nothing that she's going to find.
Oh, I love
except
you.
Jenny from the AGL electricity bit when she's chasing me. But she can go through anything, and I'm totally all for it, and that's why I think it's fun. Oh, and look, and when I do go through it, we muck around about it and go, who's this guy? And she'll go, it's the guy who does the dry cleaning down the road, you know. There's nothing to worry about.
We've always got a good alibi.
If my wife said to me, do not go through my phone, don't check my emails, I would be more worried about that.
Of course.
Don't you dare do that.
My motto is you spy on them and that's how you know you can trust them.
Katie, high five. Well done. What about this one? Now, this is another one, Chrissie. I had mates that I played footy with that were cheating on their partners and
footy players?
Yeah, that would put the names under companies or people that they were sponsored by. So every time that phone rang, it would come up with a car yard and they go, oh, bloody hell, they want me to sell another bloody car, and go out the room.
There's naughty men all over Australia going,
You've just
what
freaked
a great
every
idea.
chick in the country out.
So you know what, girls? Even if you do check the phones, the boys, they're probably on the ball.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's why you never get caught.
That's why... Everyone hates you now. You've just busted the secret.
I can't go to another footy match now.
I love it. Our guests certainly get to have their say, as you've just seen, but so can you. Hit us up on both Facebook and Twitter. We would, as Kate Langbroek says, we would j'adore it. It seems Meghan's a no in a sea of yeses. Let's see if we can bring her over to the dark side after the break on Can of Worms.
It's difficult. He was so suspicious after the last time.
Oh, good Jesus. We've told him that he gets to choose from the list whatever he wants to do.
This is doing me head in. This is a man who doesn't want to do these things. This isn't his list.
An Idiot Abroad, the bucket list, Monday on 1.
Every Wednesday, pack your bags and escape to paradise. It's hot. So hot. You'd better put on your Factor 30. Welcome to Miami. Burn Notice, Wednesday on 1.
You are back with the Can of Worms, and tonight we're asking, is spying on your partner acceptable? We've got a yes from Kate Langbroek, a yes from Fitzy, and a no from Meghan Gale. Now, before we hear from our audience, let's take it up a notch with a wee hypothetical. 10 years ago, I'm glad that you're writhing because this one is specifically for you, given that these ones are all for spying. 10 years ago, your partner had an affair. He admitted to it, and you got over it, went through some counselling, hasn't brought itself up into the relationship since. Lately, though, you've noticed that he's been working a little bit later than usual. Sometimes when you call him at work, he's not there when he says that he would be. He leaves his laptop at home one day. You know the password. What do you do?
Chrissie, This is such a hard one with a hypothetical because I don't think I'd let it get that far. I think I would just ask up front. Try and use my instincts, try and gauge if he's being honest with me. I've got a pretty good antenna. Having had so many sneaky lying guys, I've developed quite the antenna. And if I felt he was still lying to me, then I may have a look.
Can we do something about that red light under Meghan's chair, please? Because I think it should be green.
Yeah.
I think she's saying that spying should be is acceptable.
Lights under her.
Yeah, you're all lit up.
You can change. It's okay.
No, I don't think it is because you're presenting me with a hypothetical that doesn't exist.
Well, that's what a hypothetical is.
I know, but I mean, let's base it. Don't base it on me being with my. I'm basing it on my current relationship.
Yeah, but that's what
where
the
I'm
show's
at
about.
now.
That's what's so
still.
traumatic.
Luke, just come over to the dark side.
Sit. Come on, you know you
can
wanna.
do what you want with my light, but I
take that in there.
Go on.
She is
Go through my
sticking to her
phone.
guns.
Come on, go through my phone. Go and do it. Do it.
Hey, there are some cheeky squirrels in our audience that may have some stories that will change your mind. All of you, not just Meghan Gale. Let's start with Warren. Warren!
Chrissie!
Tell us what you do for a living.
I'm a private investor.
Yes! What are you finding when you're hired by people?
Look, I've undertaken thousands of infidelity investigations in the past 34 years, and 98% of my clients are right. There are some serious rooters out there.
Warren, with all these rooters that you've seen, do you trust anyone anymore?
Yes.
You
Look,
do?
I think the majority of people are honest. One comes to mind. I had a wife, a partner that came to me and she said, look, I'm sure my husband's having an affair. I found a G-string and a pair of fishnet stockings. So we followed him and he went off to a service station. He got a bag out of the boot and we thought, hello, what's going on here? Well, waiting for him to come out and we didn't see him because he came out dressed as a woman. He had fishnet stockings on, the high heels, the whole bit. And I thought, hello, we've got a cross-dresser. But we were wrong. He went off to a hen's night and he was a male stripper. And he was stripping for $400 a night and didn't want his wife to know how he was supplementing the mortgage.
Great story. Warren, big hand for Warren. Let's go to Jamie up the back. You think it's not okay to spy?
No.
Why is that?
Not at all. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you need to be honest and open with them. And if you can't trust the person you're with, or if you have a suspicion and say, hey, are you doing this? And you don't feel comfortable that they're going to give you the right answer, why are you with that person?
Exactly. Yeah, but if you're trusting someone, you've got nothing to hide.
No, and I trust my partner too. If he wants to go through my stuff, I wouldn't care, but we have a relationship that we don't have to do that because we know and we're secure in a relationship that we don't need to because nothing's going on there.
That's the dream, isn't it? That's the ideal situation, and don't feed the insecurities.
Yeah, but look at Arpats and Kristen Stewart. That guy should have done some spying. Really?
No, that guy needs to become a serious rooter.
Thank you so much for your stories, guys. That was brilliant. Love them. Love the stories from the audience. Let's find out what happened in our Roy Morgan poll.
Is spying on your partner acceptable? An emphatic 78% said no. But that doesn't necessarily mean we won't do it. At some stage, over a third of us have checked who our partner's called and read their texts or emails. So, who's more likely to spy? The title of the most suspicious sex goes to women. Congratulations, ladies, you've earned it. Yet, despite this snooping, nearly all of us say trust is the most important thing in a relationship. Other answers include sex, Star Wars, their cash, his car, and her chest.
Women spying the most? Shock horror. You've had your say. After the break, Dan Ilic busts out the lie detector to find out just how far people are willing to go to spy on their partner. Don't miss this. This is Can of Worms.
Have you ever cheated on your partner?
No.
There's so much action. I dare you not to watch Men. One's HD movie premiere, Friday on One.
All the pulling power you want. Then a bit more. The technology and space you need. Then a bit more. All the toughness of the competition. Then a bit more. The 147 kilowatt Mazda BT50, because more is more.
We have asked the question, is spying on your partner acceptable? Or as the Super Nanny says, acceptable. If there is one man who's thought about it maybe a little bit too much, it's Dan Ilic.
If it's okay to spy on your partner, just what level of surveillance do people find acceptable? I'm from a company called Cheetah Catchers, and what we're doing is we're trialling out a whole bunch of surveillance technologies that you can try out on your partner. The first up is our Bill Clinton 3000. Would you ever use a lie detector in your relationship?
It's too risky.
It's too risky. Have you ever cheated on your partner?
No.
And Bill Clinton never lies, so...
I don't even have a partner.
So it works then. What about an app that you can download and it'll follow your partner wherever they go?
Bullshit. Why would I do that to anybody? It's wicked.
You can actually insert a chip into your partner's hand while they sleep.
Okay, I'm not doing that.
Maybe you would do this. It's a love drone you can hire to track your boyfriend wherever they are. It'll feed live images straight to your mobile phone.
Oh, wow.
We actually got this one from Who magazine that actually busted Kristen Stewart this way.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you guys sound like very trusting people.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, would you cheat on your partner with this fellow?
Nah.
What about this man? Why are you laughing? What about this man? Would you cheat on your partner? You definitely would?
Yeah.
Well, good news. He is right here.
Oh, really?
Right here. This is Carlos. Yeah. If he was microchipped, you wouldn't have this problem.
Do you do the microchipping by here right now?
Yeah. Do you want to sign up for it? Great. Just go ahead and sign.
Dan, would you really let your partner track you with a microchip?
Absolutely. We're both on Vodafone, so, you know, we barely get a phone call, so easy.
Meghan, Fitzy and Kate, now before you scurry off into the night, we want one final chance for you to show us what you're made of with a quick round of It's New This Year. It's exciting. It's Chrissy's choice. If you had the choice of a superpower, what would you choose? Invisibility, power to read minds, or the power to destroy whoever you want with one thought?
Oh, easy.
What would you choose?
Mind reading.
Whose mind do you want to read?
Anyone's and everyone's.
What am I thinking?
Doesn't matter because you're about to drop dead.
You're going power to destroy with a single thought?
No, I couldn't be trusted with that.
No, it's dangerous. What would you choose?
Oh, invisibility.
Where would you go first?
I'd go everywhere. I'd get invisible. I wouldn't validate when I get on the bus. You know?
You do like to live dangerously, don't you?
I would love to be invisible.
I've already had invisibility. If anyone's seen my footy career, I was never out there. But I would have invisibility as well, because imagine like your favourite band and you could just be a fly on the wall backstage and just follow people.
Is that what you would do?
I would love to follow celebrities and be a fly on the wall just to see their
That
lives.
would be fun, wouldn't it?
But mind reading, I would hate to know what people think of me, Megan. I
think it would make for a really good kind of just trying to weed out who you really want in your life, and it would help so much with what I do.
Are you the same chick that doesn't believe in spying on people?
But it's not about spying. Do you know how many insincere people I come into contact with?
Yeah, that's why you spy on them.
Yeah.
Put it out on the table,
but do you
I say.
want to know? You know when you have a conversation with someone, you walk away and then you can hear them going, "Oh, what a dick." Do you want to know that?
Because then I know, okay, I'm never going to talk to that
So then
person.
we get-
Also, you don't need to read any minds if someone is actually saying, what a dick. Just use your ears.
But also, because we're invisible, we can hear that. We don't have to mind read. I don't want all that white noise. I'll be like John Edward.
Power to destroy wouldn't last long.
No.
Because if someone, you know, pissed you off and then next thing you know...
Imagine...
Even by accident.
Man, I'm not hanging around Fitzy, man. Anyone hangs around here. They just fall off the face of the earth.
Meghan, Kate and Fitzy, I can't thank you enough for tonight. You've been adorable. Meghan, the mind reader, the anti-teen modelling crusader who really stuck to her guns tonight. Kate gave us 2 yeses tonight and showed it is possible to get offended by people who get offended.
Yeah.
She's a genius. And Fitzy likes to time others having sex.
Yeah.
Jealous of how long they last? Use a bit of Denker Rub. Dan, what superpower's good for you?
I think I'd like to be invisible. I think it'd be great, like, if the cops are pulling over for speeding and they're like, so, how much have you had to drink tonight? I don't know, officer. Invisible. How much have you had to drink tonight? That's what I would do. That'd be really good. Now, if you have any ideas for moral minefields or worms, you can hit us up on our Facebook. You can also check out our website, which is canofworms.com.au.
That brings us to the end of the show. Please thank the beautiful Meghan, Gale, Fitzy and Kate Langbroek. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And let's not forget Dan Ilic. And keep keep the applause going for my mate Dicko. Thank you so much. Australia, we really need to talk, and we will do it again next week. I'm going to wash my hair and everything. Until then, you've been watching Can of Worms. Good night.
The following program is classified PG. It contains mild coarse language and sexual references. One recommends parental guidance for young viewers.